Happy peeps! It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and I've got a bit of a different video for you today, a bit of a how-to video. So, see all these albums up here? Yep. I think a lot of scrappers have many albums that are not labelled properly. It's just a bit of a mystery what's in them, and it's driving me crazy, and I really want to organise them. So, today, hello Poppet. What are you doing headbutting my foot? You want to help me, do you? That was really cute. She wants to help. She can't help, she'll eat them. But what I want to do today is, now she's licking my toes. Oh, it's gonna be one of those days. Now, what I want to do is, I have a video on my YouTube channel about how I did my wedding ones, which I'll show you in a second. And I want to repeat that for all of my albums, but there's a problem, and I'll show you what the problem is. So currently, a lot of the albums do have this inbuilt label. We're going to call it a metal label holder for the sake of this video. I don't know if it's, oh, is it called a book plate? I don't know. We'll call it a metal label holder. A lot of them do have this, which is great. I've slipped in some dates, and then we go along, and there's quite a few that don't have them, which is annoying. And then they're the wedding ones that I've done before. So I will put the link down below for those. But I needed a way to label these ones that don't have any book plates. So I went onto eBay and I bought some. So this is what I got off eBay. I think it's maybe a pack of 8 or 10 maybe. And I'll put the link down below if I can find it, if it's still available. But I just typed in metal label holder, I think it was. And they are thicker on one side than the other. They're not the greatest quality, but they do what I need them to do. They're about maybe $5 possibly, maybe. And they are kind of meant for drawers, I think, to go that way, because this side is bigger, so that side stops it, so you slide it in that way, if that makes sense. But we're going to use these, and we're going to print off some photos. I'm going to show you some tips on how to print photos to fit them, and then we're going to stick them on, and we'll see if this works. I'm going to try and do all of the albums. That's a lot of albums. Let's see if we can do this together. Okay, so step one is to purchase some of these, because they can take a little while to come. You might even, I think Martha Stewart might do some, possibly. You might be able to get some in your local craft store or hardware store. I'm not sure. Step one, purchase some of these if you have albums that need them. Step two, go through your albums, and it's a whole lot easier if you just put a post-it note on them just to remember what they are. So that's the first 2 steps. Step 3, I made a list of all of the ones that I need photos for. And then step 4, I went through my photos. So I store my photos on Dropbox, and I went through and downloaded some of my photos. So one for each of these albums. If I wasn't quite sure, so say 2015, for example, no, 14 was the big one. I wasn't quite sure what was in what album, so I did print a couple of generic, like bunny ones, like that. That is sometime in 2014. So if I run out, I can always use that one, and it doesn't really matter that it's not the exact months in that album. But I tried to pick events that were like big events for that time. So this is for my Project Life 2013, which was from August to December, and we got married in November, so I thought better do a marriage photo. So what was I up to? Was that 5? Was it 5? I hope it was 5. I got the baby brain, so I think it was 5. So step 5 is to print some photos, and I'm going to show you how I did that. Now, it does depend on the size of your metal book label holder thingy. These ones are quite small. So you're going to need, when you save your photos, you're going to need to think of photos that don't well, first of all, the photos that go vertically you need, and also photos that don't have, like your faces don't take up a huge amount of the photo. So when I was, for example, when I printed this one, our heads are too big. So if I was going to put this, it would either be one of us or the other one, or a mismatch of not very much. So this isn't a good photo to do, or if you want this photo you have to make it smaller. So just have a real think about when you print your photos, because it's a different ratio. They're quite tall and skinny. Another thing to consider is the size of the actual book plate. So these ones are very tall and skinny, and then I'll show you the one that came on the album. I might have to take you off the camera tripod, hang on. Okay, so this is my, I think it's We Are Memory Keepers possibly, or maybe it's the Project Life brand. It's my Project Life for 2013, and if you compare the two book plates, they are quite different in size. So this one's quite a bit larger. So my tip is just experiment and see what photos work, and if you print a photo that is too big or too small, you can always keep it and use it in art journaling, or gift it to your children, or pop it on the fridge. You can always do something with it. So I haven't cut down this one yet because I think it'll be the right size. We'll just lose a bit of our arms, but that's okay. But I think it will be all right, I think. Next step, which is either 5 or 6, I'll put it down here so that it looks nice and pretty. But the next step is to attach your photo into your book plate. So for these ones, I could do it two ways. I could either glue the book plate on first and then just slide the picture in, but I have this vision that that's going to be very difficult, and I'm going to end up with glue everywhere and not be able to shove it in properly. So I actually put my photo in first, and all I did was just washi tape it, and I'm going to put glue all over this anyway, so it doesn't matter. That does mean that you can't change it. So if you're okay with that, this is the way to go. If you like to change your albums frequently, you might need to think of a different way to adhere the book plate first and then just be able to slide it in. But for me, it's not really an issue. So I've done that one, so that's in the book plate. For those albums that have the book plate already attached to them, you need to figure out how to put your photo in. So this, luckily that blue album came with a little card inside it. So I'm just going to kind of place that where I think it belongs and cut it out, and then slide it into the album. Ta-da! There it is, all done. And I'm a bit of a goose because I said I was going to show you how to print the photos. So I use the Project Life app, and let's see if I can get this so you can see it. Do I have to go up close? I think that's the best we can do. So I use the Project Life app, and there's two ways that I printed my photos. The first way that I printed them was using this configuration, which are 2x3 photos. Yes, so that's this size. So 2x3 I found worked well for the book plates that were already attached to the album. So that wedding one that we just cut out, that was originally a 2x3 photo. It doesn't work so well for these ones that I bought, but that's okay. So I now have an extra copy of this photo, but I'm just going to pop it in my art journaling box, and I can use it for some art journaling later on. So it's all good. All I did was I put in the 4 photos that I wanted and then pressed print. Now, if you're being a bit sneaky and you need smaller photos like these ones, so this is actually, let's see, so this was a 4x6. It had 2 more photos on it. So what I did was I made one of these templates, I saved it, made another one of these with different photos, saved it, and then opened up the template that has 2 3x4s, and I printed it that way. So these turn out to be a lot more tiny. So I'll show you quickly how to do that now on the app. Okay, so I'm going to try and make that complicated version of me talking about how to get photos smaller, this size. I'm going to show you how to do it. So all you do is in the Project Life app, you just click this one, and it automatically takes you to 2 3x4 photos. So what you need to have saved already is the photo that we just did before of the 4 of them together, which is, well, this one. So if you have 2 of these saved with photos already in them, you're sweet to go. So then I'm going to go back to these 2. All you do is you touch this, you say you want to add a photo in, go to your camera roll, pick the one that you've done, come over here, pick the other one that you've done, and there you go. They're both on there. So that might make it easier if you buy extra ones to put your photos to fit them in a little bit more. Now keep in mind, depending on what you print on, if you print on the selfie, it will cut a little bit off. But if that happens, you can always stick it to a piece of coloured cardstock or pattern paper and just make it a little bit bigger. It will work out okay. So I'm already connected to my selfie down here. Here it is. So all I go is export, print, do. It has a little think for a minute. A little more of a think. And then it's done. So I have purposely printed some extra photos because I'm not completely sure which ones I'm putting in which, and I haven't actually looked through the Project Life albums to check that, because I know that 2015, I think from like April onwards, didn't get done, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. This I think is Father's Day, which is way later, but I might be able to use it for one of the layout albums that I've got. So no paper. Oh, typical. Do you know what? No, there is paper in it. You're just being a goose because I'm on camera and I've never printed on camera before. And of course, Murphy's Law, something's going to happen. So I'm going to let this print and I'll be back. Yay, photos printed. So here it is. And you can see that it has chopped off some of the sides and some of the bottoms, but that's okay. Look at Frida's poor little head. Oh, I might have to print that one again. I don't know if that will work, but you can see that it's a whole lot easier to fit them in when they're smaller. So I recommend give it a go first by printing them bigger. Whoop, Mr. Lighting, what you doing? Give it a go by printing them bigger first, and then it all depends on what metal book plates you have. So I'm going to cut these up, figure out which album's in which, and I might start to attach them to the back of the metal book plates and start to slide some of them in, and then I'll show you how we're going to label them so that it's more than just a photo. Alrighty, it's the next day, and you can see I've moved my albums from up there back into the shelves. I had a few, let's say, avalanches, and I decided I'd rather them in here, and then I can put the big bulky stuff that I don't really reach for a lot up the top there. So I'm going to go through and show you what they look like. I've done a few different techniques. So you can see some of them I've just used tiny word stickers, tiny alpha stickers, sorry, straight onto the photo. Those tiny little pink ones are from Kaisercraft. The black ones are Tim Holtz. No clue about those white ones. So some of them I put the stickers onto the actual album, and some of them I put them onto the photo depending on how big they were. These are the wedding albums that I've already done a video on my channel. We've got, whoop, are you going to focus, mister? Okay, so I've got the focus working now. So these tiny, tiny little stickers are from Kaiser Craft, and I actually did glue them on as well. So it did take quite a long time. Some of them I just added little enamel dots in here as well. So that's 2000 and Childhood, 2013 Project Life, the wedding, and this is 2014, our honeymoon, but I put it with the wedding ones just because I could. Then we have 2014 Project Life. So I had 5 albums for Project Life, and I'll give you a close-up look of these. So these I just did really simply with some of the Tim Holtz words, and then just put what volume it was. Then we go down here, try and squeeze in here, and we've got my December 2014, which is my first layouts that I've ever made. Then Project Life 2015 was a disaster. It only goes till April, I think, but there's still 2 albums. And then this last one is Layouts 2015. Then we've got 2 more layouts for 2015, and this one's December daily, but it's not done, so I just put a photo in it. I didn't give it a title or anything because I'm not sure if it's going to stay or if I'm just going to give up and just not do it. We'll see how we go. Then we move on to 2016 Project Life and layouts in my 9x12 albums. Hope this isn't too shaky. So for 2016, I actually did the dates that the albums went from. And I do really like that because I can tell then what kind of events happened in that album. So I know that this is my birthday, layouts are in here. Our friend's wedding will be in this one. This is when we first found out we were having a baby. This is when we told everyone. Then you got Christmas. So I do really like putting the dates instead. I think that's something I'm going to keep up. So there we go. That is the project. It did take quite a while, I will say, but I think it's worth it. And it just looks really pretty. So I will do a craft room tour. It's a bit of a sneak peek. Ooh. I will do a craft room tour and pop it on here at some point. Thanks for watching, guys, and please let me know in the comments how do you label your albums, and if you'd like some more how-to videos like this, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!